Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our virtual Small Business Town Hall. I'm Dan McKee, Lieutenant Governor, and we're here every Tuesday talking about small business issues in the state of Rhode Island and making sure that we're providing all the information we can to help our small businesses, sustain themselves during the pandemic and then thrive after the pandemic is over. So today I'm a few minutes late, busy in terms of the transition that's going on. Governor Raimondo, as we know, is going to be nominated and confirmed shortly. It's going on a little longer than we thought, but so we have to be flexible and making sure we're doing everything we can to make good things happen for the state. And so we're doing that. I just want to say quickly again about the education. I always talk about the education. Let's make sure we're focused on strategies to help our students, high income, low income, moderate income, minority, non-minority, young boys, girls, going to public school, private school, charter school. They all are going to need our help, and recommending that we really look seriously into the municipal education department that I opened up in Cumberland in 2007. And that's a good way to do a 52-week strategy to support our local schools that are going to have their hands full to be open fully by September, which is one of our goals to get that done. So anybody interested in education, contact our office. Interested in small business, contact our office. So let's go with Mark, because I know Mark Hayward's in line to get his shot, and we've got maybe about 4 minutes before he. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Governor. How are you?
Good. I hear you're going to be getting your shot very shortly.
Yes, I have 4 minutes and then I have to get in line. So I just wanted to make sure that we get on early and that get some information for you. As everybody knows, the president came out yesterday and changed a little bit the PPP. We do not have all of the documentation as to how this is going to happen, but we do know that the prioritization, Governor, of those businesses that have 20 employees or less will be going to the head of the line. This will be for 2 weeks. It will last over the next 2 weeks, and then it will be reopened again. There's approximately $150 billion still left in the PPP. So if you're a business that's sitting out there and you're thinking, and I got contacted, Governor, this morning by a number of seasonal businesses, my suggestion is if you're 20 employees or less, go and start talking to your lenders. We are approximately at 6,810 loans for about $700 million right now. So the numbers keep creeping up, and we want to make sure that Rhode Island small businesses gets the PPP that they need. Now, there are some technical changes as well. I think some of the changes that are going to happen are also going to be beneficial to those sole proprietors, S Corps, 1099s that we talked about last week. I don't have all of the details, Governor, but just based upon what I'm seeing on the information that's rolling out, and we're going to have a conference call this afternoon, that it's going to be beneficial to the 1099s and sole props. But in the meantime, we keep moving upward.
Yeah, that's the way to go. And we just got to do a full court press, and I'm going to be talking to Commerce about that later today to make sure that, because that deadline still is a March 31st deadline, right? Or
Yes, Governor,
that
no, the deadline is still March 31st. I did a Zoom constituents meeting with Congressman Langevin yesterday. We had some discussion about that. I'm not sure what the new bill is exactly addressing as far as deadlines go, but as of right now, I can only go based upon what the statutory requirements are, and that's March 31st. So for the next 14 days, starting tomorrow at 9 a.m., 14 days beyond that, it's specifically going to be only businesses of 20 employees or less.
Mark, we should, and I had a call from a credit union today and potentially doing some sort of a press event. Let's get together, you and I, and make that happen. I think we really need to get out there with all the players and just say, let's get the money in the pockets. And now that 20 and under, that's a big possibility for us to add more dollars into our economy.
Yeah, Governor, I'm more than happy to do that. The other thing is there was a business that was highlighted the other evening, Watch Hill Oysters. which actually went to WPRI they called me and I gave them that. I mean, talk about a success story. It was unbelievable how we managed to get him through and there were some hurdles to go through, but finally he got PPP1, PPP2, and an EIDL loan as well. And it just goes to show you the dedication of the SBA staff here in the state of Rhode Island.
Absolutely. So Walt Chill, I actually went out in his small dinghy and jumped into the water about 3 summers ago and did some of the the oysters, took them right, Tony Silver and I, and then we bought a whole bunch and then we brought them home. So yeah, we're supporting our small business, but yeah, that's a good one.
And he supplies a lot of the local restaurants. And by the way, Governor, the oysters Rockefeller were tremendous.
There you go. That was my farm tour. That was part of my farming tour that we did that with the owner.
My time just came up.
Go get your shot. That's a good thing. That's a good message. That's a good message to deliver to everybody out there. We got to get the shots in the arms. You know, the school's back in the session and our business is doing business. That's the thing. Hi, Joe.
Good afternoon.
How you doing today?
Doing pretty well, thanks. I think the only other thing we might like to note for the viewers is that Mark mentioned the small business preference. That's through, I believe, March 10th. The White House put out some new regulations and clarifications. I think it was last night, so I'm sure Mark and most of us haven't had a chance to dig in. But if you go to treasury.gov, you can see those. There are also some updated related guidance to the previous restrictions for felony convictions, narrowing that down to items related to fraud and some updates like that. And there are some application regulation updates to the folks who are non-citizens and have small businesses who can apply. So in the meantime, before our next update, you should go to treasury.gov if you're affected by any of those issues, and if you have fewer than 20 employees, because that March 10th deadline gives you a clearer runway to apply, but that is going to end prior to the application deadline. So,
right on cue. Hi, Secretary. How are you? We were just
great, Governor. How are you today?
Very good. We're just talking about some of the PPP issues. I don't know if you want to give an update, but I think that we need to rally around and do a press event within the next few days to really get this information out. So we'll be planning with you as well to make that happen.
Yes, sir. With that guidance in mind, you've been very emphatic about making sure that Rhode Island businesses get their crack at the new round of PPP money. Do have a couple updates, as you suggested. You've just heard from Mark and from Joe about the changes. Keep in mind the window for the 20 employees and fewer businesses opens tomorrow by all the various accounts. So businesses who are in that category, please look for the PPP opportunity to open up tomorrow. Mark Hayward and I are working to do an initial information session that I think, Governor, is probably only one of the things you'd want to have done next week, and we will coordinate with you, sir. But right now, if the feds come through to the regional SBA office in time Monday, we plan to hold a Facebook Live information session as we have throughout this new round, Monday at 1 p.m. So we will confirm that on social media. That's an information session for businesses that want to know more about all the rules, the regulations, as Mark and Joe have outlined them. Monday at 1 p.m., look for confirmation on social media. The only revision we'd make is if Director Hayward has not gotten all of the information from the feds. With your permission, Governor, I want to repeat a couple things.
Please.
We have a list of banks that have expressed that they will accept first-time applicants under PPP. We reconfirmed this list today to be sure to be able to offer it fresh on this show. And I just want to read aloud. If you've not applied for PPP before, you're a smaller business, 20 employees or under, a sole proprietor or other description under this new prioritization, or if you're any Rhode Island business applying for PPP for the first time, Bank Newport, Bay Coast Bank, Berkshire Bank, Bristol County Savings Bank, Centerville Bank, Customers Bank, Greenwood Credit Union, Harbor One, Pawtucket Credit Union, and Washington Trust are all accepting new applications. They have their own parameters. They have their own guidance. But please approach them if you don't already have a bank. If you do have a bank or lender that you traditionally work with, please do gear up for this new round, including for these smaller businesses, if you are able. And then, Governor, I just want to repeat the set of technical assistance providers that at your encouragement, we have contracted with to make sure that we're getting the word out and we can handhold businesses through the process. And that is this list: the Center for Southeast Asia, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Rhode Island CPA Society, Multicultural Innovation Center, Rhode Island SCORE, and SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. All of that information, the banks, the technical assistance providers, can be found at commerceri.com. And at commerceri.com, the Commerce website, we will also update the rules as the SBA itself updates the rules for smaller businesses.
Yeah, that's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort, and thanks for that. And we just I gotta follow up with you. I owe you a phone call as well.
No problem.
The meeting, by the way, the meeting I thought was fairly good, very good yesterday with the Small Business Committee.
Got good reviews.
Rep McKee, she was chairing. Big interest in our small businesses right now, Stefan.
Yes, sir.
Great opportunity.
Really is a great opportunity.
So we'll keep those lines open. Great opportunity, and I think that we'll just kind of put our heads together, me, you, and Mark, and talk about how we can activate some of our municipal leaders to have them aware that these dollars they may get extended past March 31st, but they may not, right? Right. So we're in a timeline here to get this money out to the small business. Ben, you got something for the secretary?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Ben.
Diane and Ann both have a question. Is 20 or less employees PPP still part of the second draw, or is it a new draw? And Ann asked, is this a third round of PPP?
It's the same round of PPP. It's part of the second draw. As to which businesses are eligible, I honestly want to wait till the SBA issues their rules in full form and be very careful in offering guidance on whether it's your first draw or second draw and who's meeting the criteria. But this is not a new round. It's the second round. As a subset of that second round, smallest businesses, 20 or fewer, and sole proprietors in particular, are being prioritized for a special window. It's not a third round. Hopefully that's helpful.
Great. Anything else, Ben?
Nope, I'm good.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right, Stefan, we'll be in touch with you. Thanks so much for all the effort. This is great. Oh,
Appreciate
mask. I rushed to the screen here. I don't have a mask within arm's length. And Joe's going to put on his mask, and then I'm going to have to go get a mask. But I'm going to. So, Matt, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you.
Yes, and I do want to just congratulate you on being interim DLT director.
Well, thank you.
As of this morning.
That's right. And I have not noticed a mass exodus, so people seem to be hanging around. I appreciate the opportunity very much, as I told you when you graciously gave me that phone call. There's a lot of work to be done here, and I think we've done a lot of work. I've been here for 10 years at this agency, and we've made a lot of progress, but there's so much more to do. I hear you talk every week, Governor, about making sure that we're investing in our small businesses. I know one of the pain points that we've had here at DLT is the ability to connect directly with small business, because we've been so busy and so claimant focused that I'm looking forward to some new ideas that I'm going to talk to you and your team about in ways that we can continue to develop what we're doing here. I've really appreciated this format and to be able to talk to everybody every week and say, here's what's going on at DLT. But that, we can do so much more, and I'm looking forward to it. I explained it yesterday to someone as an old cartoon where the train is going and the two characters in the front laying the track down as the train moves. And that's what we've been doing here since March, with all the changes because of the absolute craziness that has been on employment. We've done so much in such a short period of time. We were only able to do that because we laid the foundation just prior to this year, coming into this year. Let's put the pedal to the floor. Let's keep making changes. Let's be more accessible to our small business community. Let's keep up the good work. And I thank you for giving me your trust and letting me lead this great group.
Yeah, well, Matt, you've earned it. And I think the people in the state of Rhode Island have, put a face to DLT and the work that the staff has done there, and all the people during this time frame. But I think it's going to carry over really well as we move out of this pandemic. So it's great to have you on the team, and I'm just looking forward to the point where I'm actually, in the governor's seat and being able to activate some of the things you talked about. But we'll work hand in hand to make sure that, we get through this pandemic, we have a good recovery. And I was just saying that, the small business committees at the General Assembly, I think they have a whole lot more awareness of, what we might be able to do, and bringing people together with ideas to help our small business community only helps, everybody in our state, regardless of what community you're in or what community you represent, what income level you represent. The small businesses are very integral and important. So thanks for your help there. What do you got on the agenda here? Because so I know some people are starting to get concerned about the unemployment, sunset that is out there, and what's on the horizon, and what can you tell people about that?
So that's what I'll focus on today. We remain busy. 82,000 people certified for a payment last week. That number has been pretty steady for a while now. And I think last week I shared, I think that a number of people are working part-time hours. Their hours have been reduced. And so they still request a payment. It may not be a full payment, but they're still engaged with our system. Right now, because of the time of year it is, we're looking at almost a year in this pandemic. And one of the things I've explained before is that the way that claims work is for most claims, they last on what's called a benefit year, meaning the week that you file, your claim begins, and it's good for 12 months. So there are two major components to an unemployment claim. One, it's good for the duration of that benefit year, meaning it's active for that long. Number two, Governor, there's a finite amount of money in the claim. It's like a bank account. And so if you spend that bank account prior to your year being up, then we have to put you on one of these extensions we've talked about. The issue is when your year is up, your year is up. And so what I'm telling people to do is make sure you pay attention to the message you get every week when you request a payment. We've really tried to tweak that to provide a lot of information. One thing it'll say is, you've submitted your payment request, but after this week, your benefit year has ended. So you need to refile your claim, please. That means refile your claim, please. Please do exactly what it says. A lot of people call us. 35,000 people called yesterday. A lot of people call and they say, do I really need to do that? You could save yourself the aggravation of trying to get through the DLT by really reading what it said and really looking at the information that we have online, which we will continue to revise and make sure it's clear and easy to find. But read the messages. So right now, if your claim is coming up on 1 year and it tells you to refile, please refile. If you do not qualify for a new claim, then we can extend the old one. But unemployment has a lot of rules, so we're trying to make it clear. This is how you have to do it. It's like reading the instructions in a board game. Follow the steps one at a time, and I assure you, we will get you paid. The other big thing is the federal program, the pandemic unemployment. That is a 50-week program now per the federal government in the Continued Assistance Act. This new round of stimulus would extend that again, which is great. The problem right now, a lot of people are coming up on their 50th week. And so there is no other program to fall onto. There are no other extensions to grab. That is an isolated federal program that can only get extensions when Rhode Island is something called a high period of unemployment, which as of last week, we no longer are. So the only thing you can have are those 50 weeks. Once that 50-week period is over, we need Congress to extend it again, or there is no other program to put you on. And we'll try to make sure that information is clear on our website. Our staff are prepared to talk to people about it. Of course, there's no harm in refiling, but the odds are you're probably not going to be eligible. So we tell you to please reach out to your congressional delegation, follow the news in Washington, and keep an eye on DLT's website. Anybody that has a problem with their individual claim should email that email address that scrolls across the bottom of the screen, which is the LTGOV email address. That your staff has been great in communicating with me. They will reach out to me, and I assure you that we will have somebody fix it for them. Or they can call our call center at 415-6772.
Great, Matt. Joe, you got anything?
Just curious, Matt, and this is some time ago, so don't necessarily expect you to have the answer, but you mentioned that 50-week period. Do you recall last year the shutdown orders were roughly, call it March 26th. Do you recall how long, was it a pretty much instantaneous jump in claims for folks when the stay-at-home advisory first came out, or was there a couple of week lag or a lag because of? just
We
wondering,
have the
people really need to start paying attention. A large bulk of people are going to run out on March X or April.
well, so the claim application, I think, was the first one in the country and went live on April 7th or 8th, I believe.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
we were backdating claims
Going back
to the beginning of March. We didn't go before March.
Mhm.
So anybody's claim, the first effective week should have been, it was like around March 6th or 7th.
Oh, okay. So we're right in that period now where they
Yes.
started.
Yes. And so I've seen a number this week, which is why I brought it up. So I'm telling folks, one thing I've said every week, keep certifying.
Yes.
Even if it tells you, try again next week, who knows? And some people, because we were in a period of high unemployment, which is something we don't need to get into right now, it's complicated.
Yep.
That would have made those claims go up to possibly up to 57, but now that's a hard 50 weeks. And the federal government does not play games with, well, it was 57 and now it's 50. What they say, it's a hard 50 as of this date.
Yep.
So if you've had 50, that's it, it's over. We're urging them to move quick. We want this money to be available, and I assure you, as soon as it is, we'll get our programs ready and keep paying.
Thanks, Brent.
Ben.
Two quick questions. Do you have a special phone number or email for employers?
So yes, in that phone number is the Lieutenant Governor's phone number, and the email is ltgov at ltgov. So that's,
well, good thinking. Quick on your feet.
that is one thing that needs to be updated, and so we do. However, I have almost every DLT employee that works on claims working on claims, and so those numbers are not monitored as closely. That's one of the things I need to work on. We're going to talk about things like a small business ombudsman from the DLT executive office, like a direct hotline for businesses. These are things I want to explore, but for now, go through the Lieutenant Governor's office. They'll come to me.
And then last question for you. How many weeks someone needs to work to be eligible for TDI? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. However, if you go on to DLT's website, dlt.ri.gov, go into the TDI section, which is under benefits, then you can see FAQs, and I'm sure it's in there.
I was told by Shay there's another question that I need to ask. As an employer, I am trying to hire and not seeing a lot of applicants. I know a lot of other small businesses that are trying to fill positions. How can we get help?
Okay, I have a couple of ways to do it. One is we have a third-party nonprofit recruiting firm that works with us that would be very happy to help anyone that is in that situation. They're called Skills for Rhode Island's Future. We helped to stand them up a couple of years ago. It's a business-led group. They want to work with businesses. This is not the government telling you how to do your job. I'd love to make that connection. Please go through the Lieutenant Governor's office. They'll get to me, and we'll do that. The other one is we have some ability on our websites to help as well.
Yeah, that question came up in yesterday's hearing with the House Small Business Committee. So that's good information, Matt. We'll pass that back into the chairwoman so that she can distribute that to her members of the committee.
Great, thank you.
That's great. All right, I did go and get my. Oh, Liz is here. So I was not. There was no way that I was on here without a mask. So I went. And I just went outside my office, and I had one hanging there, so I went back and got one. Hi, Liz.
I'd like to say this mask is from Roadie Craft. Let's see if I can get this in there.
I like it.
RoadieCraft.com.
Nice.
I was introduced to the store by Secretary Pryor, and they are all about local, small Rhode Island-based businesses. So thank you to Roadie Craft.
Well, I got to visit that place, so send me the address.
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having me. Good to see you guys. I wanted to talk this week about.
I was welcoming Matt as the interim director, but I just want people to know that you've been very helpful in our transition, Liz. So thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. Actually, you referred someone that actually is going to work in our office and is going to take a key role. So thanks for that.
I did hear that great news, so that's great. I'm glad that was able to work out very much. So.
Yes, absolutely. So what do you got going on?
So this week I wanted to talk about a program that I heard about that I think would be really helpful to small businesses. And that's one that the North Kingstown Chamber of Commerce is hosting. It's free IT support for small businesses who can either have up to 3 one-on-one sessions with an IT professional or to also participate in roundtable discussions where they can get their questions answered. So if you're the kind of business that's trying to figure out how to get your employees to work remotely, or you're trying to get your products to be sold online, or really anything that's in the IT space, the North Kingstown Chamber of Commerce is setting up this really great program sponsored through the Commerce Corporation to allow this to happen. So I would highly encourage people. It's northkingstown.com. It's that simple. You can go to the website there and learn more about that program. And I hope to try to highlight some of the programs that are out there for small businesses, because there are a ton of resources out there. It's just a matter of people knowing where they are. And this is such a great resource. So I hope that all the listeners will also let all of their colleagues and all their friends who own businesses know as well.
Yeah, so Liz, I think that's an important, pivot for us. We've been so focused on the COVID, the impact it's having, the regulations. We got to keep people, really working hard to follow the protocols that are set up. But we are, there is, with the vaccines coming out and the testing being, a lot more, we got a lot more flexibility in our testing to help our small businesses and our schools. I think you're very forward thinking to be starting to talk about that. It kind of triggered in my mind that we got to start thinking about as we move into a direction where we're going to see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel and start really talking about these things. So that would be good. And so if you have any thoughts on how we get more PPP money into everybody's hands, I don't know whether we play a role in some way, a notification or something, but it would seem as though we did. I was on a call with budget yesterday, and we've been doing probably an average of 2 to 3 hours a day on the budget, over the last 3 weeks, which is exhausting, but it's necessary. But inside of that call, we were talking about, the fact that we got to make sure that that we're thinking about things down the line, and start thinking about ways that we can really help people open up. And even in that call yesterday with the Small Business Committee with Rep. McKee, and that discussion was there. And I think they're hungry for information, and so they're really open to this. So we need to kind of, create this shift a little bit, just like you just said.
Well, I think a lot of businesses in Rhode Island who have mostly local customers, they don't think that their customers are going to make purchases electronically, that it's just easier to drive to wherever the store is. Yeah. But if my purchase at roadiecraft.com is any example, normally, yes, I would have driven to the store, but that's not something I'm really interested in doing right now, or at least very often. So you know what? I went online instead and I bought a couple of things. So, the world is changing. And so I don't think you'll see, what I'm saying is you'll see more and more people doing electronic shopping than ever before. And so if you're not selling your goods online, you should really try to do so.
Yeah, and there's all different ways of doing it. So we love Kristen down there at the North Kingstown Chamber. She's wonderful. And, so we want to make sure that we're continually sharing the information, because somebody in North Kingstown may go there, but somebody might go to, what the Small Business Coalition has done, and Lori and Jatari has helped out, right, to make sure that the shop local strategy, we just got to put a menu out, a smorgasbord of ideas, and let it hit, and let people kind of know that it's really important. So that's why I was just talking to Stefan about, really creating some sort of a marketing plan or something that continues gives the small business community avenues that that maybe they're not taking advantage of right now, and then maybe the customers are not taking advantage right now. So thanks for sparking that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, kind of like lit that fire there. Joe, you got something for Liz?
I do have a question. It might be a little bit premature or of a hot potato, so feel free to pass it on to the future. But one thing we've seen in the last 4 or 5 days from the CDC are updates to guidance related to folks that have been vaccinated. And obviously, you and your department have done a great job helping consumer confidence and make sure people, if they do want to drive into the store, can feel confident that it's safe to do so. Have you given any thought as to when businesses might need updated guidance for folks that have been vaccinated?
So we have. There have been a lot of conversations about that, and we were waiting for the CDC guidelines. So I didn't even realize they had come out. If it's in the last 4 or 5 days, I think we had this conversation last Wednesday. I think we were talking to the Department of Health about it. So,
and theirs are related, just to be clear, not necessarily to businesses, but they've updated if you've been vaccinated and you come in contact with somebody who tests positive. And so they've started to at least recognize the concept of having a vaccination might change some of the public health guidance. So, I understand you need more. You need the CDC and the health folks to weigh in a bit more before you can start incorporating it. But I'm glad to know that it's on everyone's mind.
Oh, and we've been talking, particularly with the event professionals. That's something we've been talking with them about for over a month for sure. But from a RIDO perspective, I think we're all waiting for the data to come back so that we can make sure that the vaccination is effective, particularly with the new strains. That's what we're nervous about right now. We got a couple of weeks to see if that's going to really hit us or not. And that's really going to be the marker. In a couple of weeks, we'll know if the strains are going to hit us hard. If they do, then, we're back to where we were. But if they don't, well, then we can start to really open things up a whole lot more.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for the mask there. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Oh yeah, good. Joe, you got anything that we need to talk about at the moment?
No, I think
a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but I think everybody, as you've always said, your best is a lot of hard work. There's a lot of hard work going on, so make sure that everybody does their best. And so thanks to everybody today. Obviously, everyone is feeling really looking forward to the health side coming along and getting everybody back out into the world, back to business, supporting our small businesses. So everyone will keep working hard until that comes.
Yes, do our best is hard work, and it's important that we all do that. And the message I've been delivering, Joe, to as I'm visiting all the communities, as we're seeing how they're activating the vaccines in their local communities, is that's a great addition. Really, a community spirit that develops, and the buzz that when I went to East Providence yesterday with Mayor De Silva, and then this morning in my hometown of Cumberland with Mayor Mutter, that interaction is so important. And there's another place that we could be delivering messages for our small businesses right at these sites. There's going to be thousands and thousands of people are going to come in over the next 6 weeks or 8 weeks, get vaccinating, and we should be able to figure out a way to deliver to them, because they're really bought into the community, and the small businesses are so important. So there's got to be ways that we can actually facilitate as people gather for their shots. There's a high level of enthusiasm, I think, that I see in the rooms when I'm there, whether that's the state sites, the local sites that will convert into these regional municipal models as the vaccine comes in. Was on the call with the White House today with the governors, all the governors in the country, and seeing that the supply is increasing. Another 1 million are going to be out this week, getting up to more and more. I think it's 14.5 million now that they have out, a 57% increase. And then Johnson & Johnson is coming with another 2 million next week. It looks as though that's going to happen into the mix. So we got to just get our capacity up. And then as people come in, Joe, we got to think about ways that you can use that opportunity to deliver the messages to help keep Rhode Island strong. And one of them is to support our small business. I'm gonna work on that. Liz got my mind spinning right now, which is not always it could be dangerous sometimes. But
well, I like that concept, and be happy to help put that on paper and figure out how to get it done.
All right, Joe, let's bring on Chris Treacy. I know he's there, and Lori, and
hello.
I'm glad you got the mask. Oh my God. And we have a guest performer.
Wow.
Justin is here, our guest performer. That's very good. I like that.
Yeah.
Justin, I want to start with you, because I want to say again that, and I got a chance to do it in my testimony yesterday with the small business, and I think that's a really good thing for all of us, is that, there's this really high peak interest in helping the small businesses in the General Assembly right now. And I've offered to have you come in, and the three of you go in and talk about the things that we've been going through the last year, and also the things that we can look forward to. But yeah, in my testimony, I just happen to have it here. I pointed out this my amigos here, the three of you, as being really centered, and Justin and Lori, thank you, and Chris as well. But Justin, say hello. Tell us what's happening in your world, especially some of the testing you're working on and helping people out with.
Yeah, so we, like I said on the last one that I was on last week or the week before, we were able to work on some of those rapid test sites. So we in our place now have 200 or so rapid tests available to any of the artists that come into our collaborative, or we're starting to do some educational seminars. Able to
You just pushed. Okay. We just lost you a little bit, Justin. Oh, all right. We'll come back. We had him for a while.
I know. I know.
Remember of the original three that kind of got this off the ground. So, Justin's back. Good.
Yeah, go figure. I finally joined and my phone rings, right? So yeah, so we have just about 200 tests on site. That should be enough for us for pretty much the remainder of the year. It was super easy. The application process was pretty easy. You just go right to Dunkin' Donuts Center after they give you your certification numbers. You go pick up all your tests, they give you the instructions. So what we'll be able to do now is all the employees, they all wanted to get tested pretty much like once a week, every few days. Whatever they're comfortable with in the setting of being able to, being with the public. If it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable to take a test once a day, once every couple days, whatever they're doing, this is amazing. And then the other part that we're doing is I'm hosting some very small classes. I've been doing these cup classes and little things. So I'm also able to allow some of those people that are coming in, if they want to feel comfortable, we can offer the testing to anyone that's coming in. So it's another good level for us to just be COVID compliant and be able to run an everyday business. And it's just another great resource for all of us to take advantage of.
Yeah, the testing is so important. We can't forget that that's really, really key for us. The testing is going to continue. I was on the call I just mentioned with the governors about a half an hour ago with the White House, and they have appropriated about $650 million, I think the number was, to help with the testing and making sure that we're keeping that as a priority and a front and center issue, including the schools. So we're going to be really, really focused on that again, so that people really understand the importance of the testing for us, and in particular, opening up our businesses, right? This testing is a real good tool. So thanks, Justin.
Hey, Justin,
Go ahead, Roy.
I think that's so great. I found this little secret site for rapid testing at the Roger Williams Park Zoo parking lot. They do the Binex test. It's super fast. And so for any employers that want to do something similar in the Providence, Cranston area, there's a great resource there. And you don't even need an appointment. You can just go up, they take your information, you get your results in probably 15 or 20 minutes. It's really a great spot.
Yeah,
it's super easy.
Yeah, it's easy, and it's so important right now for us to open up our businesses to take advantage of things we didn't have a year ago, right? There was no testing. Just think back. There was no testing. There was no help in terms of PPP loans. There was no help, and there was no understanding how important the masks are. But there is really good buy-in, and that's one of the strategies that I'm using right now is to get back to my roots, which is the municipalities, and so that we really penetrate in there on all these important messages. So, but Chris, yes, we want to. One of the things I think I want to put on, I wasn't able to make yesterday's call, but I want to hear what was going on there. But I also want to put on our plate a full court press on this PPP stuff, because I think that, especially with what Mark's saying, businesses 20 and under employees having being brought up to the front of the list in terms of a priority, that's a lot of our businesses that are in our coalition, right? So thoughts on that? Yeah.
Yeah, the PPP is a way that we're going to financially get the assistance that we need. There's not going to be a time like this where we're getting this financial support because of the economic crisis that we're in. So we're ensuring that all of our small business members in the coalition are aware of this, making sure that they're applying for it, especially for the smaller ones, like you just mentioned, that are getting the priority. And also when it comes to COVID, right, we want the small business community to be part of the solution. So we've been talking with Commerce last week and thinking about some creative ways of how we can ensure that it's an easy way to get that Binex now testing into the hands of small business owners, and maybe that can help potentially down the road alleviate some of these restrictions and open things up while also increasing consumer confidence. They're knowing that the employees at this business is tested and that they're following all the right protocols as well as PPE as well. And in terms of your question of yesterday was a great day for the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition, because not only did we have our weekly meeting at 11 a.m. in which we introduced what our legislative agenda is going to be and many other key items that will help set up our long-term success to achieve our mission of making Rhode Island a small, friendly state. We also opened it up to others that really expressed their interest in being part of the solution, being part of the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition. So every other Monday at 5 o'clock, we're opening up to a volunteer group. We had our first one yesterday, and it was great to hear all these different perspectives and all these other organizations, right? So we had folks from the chambers in there and these other organizations, because we need to all work together for this common cause of helping small businesses in order to achieve these results that we want. So it was really great, and I urge anyone else that wants to be part of these biweekly volunteer calls and listen in on what we got going on and give their 2 thoughts. It's every other Monday at 5 o'clock, and you could just email us at info@rismallbusiness.org.
Great, Chris, and that's really good to hear. Certainly my attention has been drawn in other directions over the last few weeks, but we're central right in there, and we're going to clearly have, as was mentioned by Matt Weldon, who's going to be the new director there. He's going to be interim until I get there. Well earned, and he's talking, and now his knowledge on the need in the small business has only increased. So we're going to have an ombudsman out of our office on small business, just specifically on small business. So we're going to be making sure we're interacting and getting out there. And I think one of the challenges, and I'm thinking about really setting aside some time to be thinking through over the next few days, is this PPP. The fact that these dollars are out there. It did come up that certain businesses are not aware of it. We know they're not aware of it. And so how are we going to knock on the doors? In Central Falls with Mayor Rivera, we knocked on 300 doors, right? Our office, a couple of people in our office, we got to kind of figure out how to repeat that, because I'm telling you that a lot of people don't know those dollars are available, and they don't know they're forgivable.
Right. And I think the grassroots effort at the municipality level is a brilliant idea to really get the communities engaged. Also working with all these other great organizations, as Secretary Pryor mentioned before, all these chambers, the coalition, getting the message out to the members, and also simply an advertising campaign, right? Making sure that we have a communication strategy out there targeted to small businesses so that they are aware and we can get this money to help us over these next few months.
So last few weeks, I've organized all the municipal leaders, the CEOs, the mayors, the town managers, the administrators, and we've had multiple calls with them. Let me think about how to bring the 3 of you on and talk to them about a strategy that they could really get their arms around, and we try to get that done before the end of this week scheduled, and then we'll do it early next week. I think we have a call from next Monday or something like that. So anyways, I think we incorporate 10 minutes into that call about this awareness would be good. Lori, tell us about Shop Local. What's going on?
Yeah, well, we got a lot of back end work. We are hiring, so that's good. We're trying to get people back online we in Visual Thrive, we had it's been an up and down year, so we're ready to really get the Shop Local Rhode Island up and running. The team, actually, I guess I should just say the team has been so overwhelmed we keep a basket of all the great emails and great business revenue stories that we get. So we continue to tell those business stories through Business Over Breakfast and through our video team going out and interviewing these businesses about what they've been through. And so this morning we had a great business on, Back Pocket Resources in Lincoln, Rhode Island, that does staffing and helps organizations hire. So that was really great. And I think the focus is just getting the small businesses to a point where they can start bringing in revenue and just opening up little by little. Like I said, we have our sticker campaign. And so we're hoping that we create consumer confidence in that way. We had some calls yesterday, actually with the Hispanic Chamber with Martha, and we're going to be doing a social media campaign on women-owned businesses for the month of March in the Central Falls, Pawtucket area, completely Spanish-speaking businesses. And so, yeah, we're just going to keep going and support the businesses. I'm trying to think what else. Businesses under 20 employees is huge. I was taking notes like crazy when Mark was talking, and then I realized, oh, it's recorded. I don't really have to take notes. I can listen. But no, we are going full steam ahead, and we're super excited about it.
Yeah, and so I think that we should be able to put some resources in. We're working on the budget right now and trying to identify some of the dollars that were appropriated to help small businesses. I will be back huddling with the three of you and the cold call group to determine what the best way to distribute a good amount of money. But the world's different today than it was even 4 months ago. So we got to kind of regroup and determine how we can use those dollars and how do we invest those dollars, to grow. Other ideas too. I'm still thinking that we might want to take some of those dollars and invest them in a way that helps our small businesses in a marketing strategy or something that is really forward thinking. That like the old thing, give somebody a fish they can eat for the day, but teach them how to fish and they can eat forever. So
that is the second time today I've heard that quote.
Yeah, so I think that we want to, let's invest. I think we're in a spot where we're seeing the end out there somewhere. At least it's in the distance, but it's out there, and it's time to kind of start, as Liz was talking about, as you heard her.
Yeah.
Time to start talking about the recovery, and what that's going to look like, and how we're going to impact that, and how we're going to.
I think that one of the things that I've done in my own home is only shop local Rhode Island. That's not always possible, but honestly, when you see what is available on the site and what businesses are creating and offering in Rhode Island, I mean, really, we can shift a lot of dollars into the state in this way. And we're tracking it. So I would love to be able to present a full, this is what has happened in the last year.
Yeah. All right. Well,
a lot has happened.
I think that the work that we've accomplished, and you were in front and center, and is that it's valuable. We've talked about this, and it's valuable down the line. So we got to start thinking about that. Chris, last word with you, and then I'll go to Justin.
Yeah, no, just email us at info@rismallbusiness.org, and we want to make sure that we're hearing every voice as we're developing an industry council. So if you are a leader in your industry or simply want to be part of your industry, email us and we'll include you into our larger group so that we can ensure all diverse of small businesses are heard.
Yeah, every community matters. That's what I say, and every community that makes up the communities matter, and that's something that I think that we have got the opportunity to really connect in. So I'm happy to hear some of the things that you're working on, both Lori and Chris. And Justin, last word for you for this week.
Man, we've been at this almost a year.
I know.
I
sat here for the last couple of minutes, and I just thought about that. Like, man, a year ago, we were just starting, and to think about that trend in just a small year. It seems like a lot longer.
What's amazing? Our site launched on March 13th.
And so this has been a great deal of effort, and we intend to have some format of this program, and instead of it's the Lieutenant Governor's Small Business Town Hall, will be the Governor's Small Business Town Hall, which will be something that I don't think has happened, and I think that it's going to carry a lot of weight to work with everybody out there to help our small businesses. It helps our communities. It helps our state.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Certainly.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys. Yep. Yeah, so that's another really informative show, and program. Call our office. If you need help to get into these PPP loans, let me explain what they are. These are federal SBA loans that turn into grants, and businesses out there that have been in business, they can qualify as long as you were negatively impacted for 1 quarter of last year, I believe, something like that. So if you're out there as a business, call our office. I'd love to get 50 phone calls in the next 3 days that we actually bring you into the mix in terms of coaching you how to access these dollars. These federal SBA loans 100,000, 20,000, 150,000, 250,000 or more can be, and if it's shaped properly, those dollars can be turned into an outright grant. That means you don't have to pay the money back. This is an extraordinary moment, and there's millions and millions of dollars that is still available through the end of the month, and Rhode Island needs to get its share. Rhode Island, we need to figure out how to knock on everybody's door, figuratively and literally, and let them know that these dollars are available. And even if you're kind of feeling out there as a business owner, or you know somebody's in business, or a family member's in business, let them know about this. Call our office at 222-2371. I feel like I'm in an infomercial right now, but there's never going to be an opportunity like this again, where we can talk to our small businesses in a way to say, look, we can get you eligible for money that can be forgiven. Those dollars are going to be important to you and your family and all the people who work with you, and making sure that you're around for your customers. And also, I got to tell you, that money is going to circulate many times in the state and your community. So if you don't think you need it, but you qualify, apply, because those dollars are going to circulate in our community, and it's going to help our economy. Knox said there's over 750 people who have already been eligible, but there's a couple thousand businesses out there right now that would be eligible, and we need to make sure that we get that word out. Call our office. That's my goal this week. Get 50 people to call our office, and we steer them in the right direction. That could bring in, just if it averages $50,000, that brings $2.5 million into the state of Rhode Island. Just that alone. That's what we want to do. So we'll be back next week, and we'll have more updates of what's happening in DC on the confirmation hearings for Governor Raimondo, and we'll keep you up to date. But until then, we're going to keep the work going out of the Lieutenant Governor's office to help our small businesses, keep us safe in the state, and get our schools open. My theme now is get shots in the arms, get teachers safely in the classrooms, and let's get our businesses back to business. Thanks, everybody.